There we go.
That looks good.
Huh?
That's out there.
It's out there, baby. Follow the tweets.
President Barack Obama and the Democrats are no fools when it comes to social media. They have been beating the daylights out of Republicans in this arena since well before the president's first election victory. And with the White House now getting the boss's message out via a POTUS Twitter handle, they're setting another new standard. Let's get deep into the coding of all this media manipulation. Welcome back former Republican Congressman from Oklahoma's 5th District and a fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School, leading a study on propaganda in American politics, Ernest Istook. Congressman, pleasure to see you again.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Is this really what we're looking at here? Is a prime example of what propaganda in American politics is all about? Because I'll tell you, the president gets his tweets now. He's got his selfies. He knows how to do it, and he knows how to work the audience.
Yeah, the White House wants to coordinate all the messages from all the machinery of federal government. And there's no limit to the number of people that taxpayers pay for that are supposed to have positions like communications director or press secretary or public information officer. However, all of those people are being used for propaganda purposes. They don't just put out information. They put out only information that makes the president look the way they want him to look. There was an infamous memo just a few months after President Obama was elected that went out from the White House attorney to all federal agencies. That's a bunch. It went out to all federal agencies saying, anytime that you have something that somebody asks about that involves a White House interest, we want you to check with us before you respond to whoever's asking for information.
But that's smart if you think about it, isn't it? When you think about it from a political standpoint and wanting to reach an audience, that's pretty intelligent.
Well, it depends upon what taxpayers are paying for.
Exactly.
We're paying all of these vast amounts of money so that people can tell us what they want us to think rather than just giving us straightforward answers to questions. This begs the question of what's the responsibility of somebody that's being paid by taxpayers to be the conduit, to be the middleman through which all the information about what's going on in government flows to the American people. If you cannot get straight answers from people that are hired to be information people, you're not going to get straight answers anyplace. And especially if the press is not aggressive in trying to ferret it out. That's why Freedom of Information Act requests are backlogged in this White House.
As you start to get down to the people here with regard to Twitter followers, if you look at the numbers, Congressman, they're astounding because some people say that CNN, for instance, on breaking news has over 27 million Twitter followers, the New York Times 17 million, BBC Breaking News 15 million, but you're not really hitting all those people. You want to focus on the demographic you want to manipulate. Correct? And if you look at it right now, you look at what the president did when Caitlyn Jenner came out with her announcement on a Vanity Fair cover yesterday. The president tweets out, "It takes courage to share your story." Now, granted, that's a wonderful statement, but isn't he also playing politics in many ways by using Twitter and trying to reach a certain demo?
Sure, he's trying to appeal to his base. You see, sometimes people think, well, if you've got a serious issue about what happens with the government of the United States, what happens with the U.S. military, what happens with foreign policy, with roads, highways, welfare, all sorts of government programs. If you say, how do people find out what's going on? Now, you and I, you being with Newsmax and such and the information, we think, well, we'll go through the networks or the newspapers or the wire services. But you've got so many people who no longer watch the network newscasts. The network newscasters is just a fraction of the audience they used to have. President Obama can reach more people by sending out one tweet to his 60 million followers on Twitter than he can through the evening news. Plus, it's a different demographic. It's younger people. It may be people that are not politically involved or politically savvy, so they will just take this 140 character message that they receive rather than going through hundreds of words.
And I want to point that out, if you will, for a second, Congressman, because you pointed to the president's 60 million. He's right in there with, for instance, Katy Perry at 70 million, Justin Bieber 64 million. He's third there. Taylor Swift 58, Lady Gaga 46 million. And they got about 45 seconds left. But you're right. These are not necessarily the people who are interested in politics. But then again, he's not really looking for politically savvy people, is he?
Yeah, he's not trying to inform people. He's trying to make them have a certain impression of him. That is a definition of propaganda, not but telling people this is what I want you to believe and to think, and therefore you limit what you tell them so they'll believe what you want them to believe.
I only got about 15 seconds left, but fair to say that the GOP still needs to learn a couple of lessons about social media, correct?
Yeah, and we shouldn't be using taxpayers' money for propaganda. That's the heart of the matter.
That is the heart of the matter indeed. And it's funny how that sort of gets missed in the mainstream media, but it didn't get missed here. My goodness, what a shock that is. Congressman, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay.
All right, take care. When we come back, lessons for the human body in defeating cancer, because we actually have the ability, the possibility here, that the human body itself can be taught to fight off the big C. Nick Tate's going to join us when we come back right here on MidPoint.